In this epic saga of excellence and thrill, teams from Cebu schools and universities gathered in this arena to compete to become the best. This is where heroes clash and legends are forged. CESAFI Esports fans, this is Mary Grace Figueredo, your host, and I welcome you all to the preseason of CESAFI Esports League Season 3. If you watched our live broadcast yesterday, then that means you were able to witness the exciting MLBB match of the University of Cebu Main versus the University of Southern Philippines Foundation. And with two teams hungry for the win, only one team dominated the esports arena, with 2-0 in favor of the UCMN. Yesterday as well, still in the MLBB competition, the Cebu Institute of Technology University won against the University of the Philippines Cebu. And lastly, for our series number 3, the University of San Jose Recoletos won against the University of Cebu, Lapu-Lapu, and Mandaue. And since today is Sunday, then that means we are going to have an exciting Valorant match. For our series number 1, we have the University of Southern Philippines Foundation versus the University of Visayas. Next in line will be the University of Cebu Main versus the University of the Philippines Cebu. And lastly, for our series number 3, we have the University of San Carlos versus the Cebu Eastern College. Sean Matthew, aka Blurred from the USPF Panthers, expresses optimism and confidence during his exclusive interview. He shared that his teammates improve a lot this season and that he thinks that they will win this tournament. Now the question is, can the UV Green Lancers match up the burning passion and competence of the USPF Panthers? Continue watching our live broadcast as we witness these two teams play their hearts out. Of course, the CESAFI Esports League would not have been possible without our sponsors. First, we have Pizza Express, the Philippines' leading computer and tech retailer. Choose Pizza Express for all of your digital needs. Next, we have Virginia, Basta Hotdog, Virginia. Special thanks as well to the company and the Crayon Lab Custom Apparel and Digital Prints. Also, follow our social media accounts. We have CESAFI Esports League on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. That being said, this has been Mary Grace Figueredo, your Gina G host, here at the den of the best esports student athletes in Cebu, CESAFI Esports League Season 3, where we forge legends.
What is up, CEL fans? A pleasant morning to all of you. Afternoon, evening, all around the world. Wow, what a great day today. We are your casters for today's game between USPF Panthers and Sunby, where I make your game buzzin', and I'm here with
Ferraris. You make the plays, I make them legends. And we have a very exciting matchup for you today. The first series of the day between USPF versus UV. Can you give us a little bit of summarization on, the sides of USPF and UV?
Well, from last game, I technically observed with their strategy here with USPF Panthers, they are known to be aggressive here, and they like to travel in packs. And they have this strong initiative. They know, okay, we go there right now, right there, and a lot. And I'm just curious what UV Green Lancers will bring to the table.
Yeah, so last year, UV during the preseason were the last of their group compared to USPF Panthers, who almost made it to the playoffs during the preseason. They did kick it up during the main season. It was really where they were able to get a foothold on the CESAFI main season, where they were almost able to contest for the championship. But they were, of course, stopped by the eventual champions, which was the USJR Adelante Esports. During their bottom bracket playoff match, of course, the USPF Panthers in-game leaders, the star player, of course, is Blurred, was hailed as the Season 2 CEL Esports Student Athlete of the Year. He has of course made a name for himself, not only on the Rift or on the playing map, I should say, but of course in academics as well. He has made strides on both academics and of course the game. So it takes a lot to be at the level where he is, and last week we got to see a little bit of that, but mainly the show was taken from him by their new star duelist, which was Ghosty. Can you give us a little bit of a refresher on Ghosty's performance last week?
Of course, of course. You know, for those who missed the game last week, Ghosty is a phenomenal player, you know, with his skills. 48 kills, 16 deaths, and with their ACS of 402.5.
402.
Yeah, and he is the MVP. That is insane. He likes to go with the first blood. He likes to get that kill immediately for his teammate. I think that is a very big advantage for a duelist.
Yeah, it is a very big advantage for Duelist considering that he had that amount of ACS, 402.5. Scratch the 0.5. If 402 alone is already a lot of combat score, that's when you know you have a lot of impact in the game. You said they usually travel in packs.
Oh,
and the
yes.
main reason, I think, as to why they travel in packs, of course, is to support Ghosty. That's why he is able to get as many first bloods or as many kills he was able to get last week. But because, of course, when he goes in, he can count on the rest of his team to set him up for greatness, right?
Yeah, yeah. And speaking up of like setup, you know, one of their team, Keishi, from last game, he was very good with his setups. I think it was Cypher from last week's game, and you know he was able to give the team an advantage, especially on the defendo team. Yeah, it's really a great advantage for them. Like, I wonder what they can bring today. Like, I'm sure their strategy could change because from what I have observed, they really change their strategies every round. Yeah, and then you know they really know how to read their enemies here. So.
Yeah, of course, when you think about Blurred, you have to remember that he was a VCT player a while back. So the experience that you get from competing with the best of the best, of course, it is going to matter once you reach the playing field. But of course, the picks here a little bit. Everyone's playing Jet. Everyone's playing Jet.
Love that.
Okay, we have a little bit of a change here. Kibi is on that Sova. Keishi is on the Killjoy. Blurred is actually on an initiator now. You know, having to play a duelist last year, now he's on an initiator. Of course, once you have tried playing on that duelist role and you swap over to an initiator role, you kind of know what duelists typically think of. That way you know which gaps to cover, what type of support they need, whether they need a 0 point to delay any util, or if you get those flashes to give you a favorable duel. But the main reason why I think Blurred has slotted in to that initiator role is, of course, he already has that experience, and he already has a lot of differences that he can add as, of course, that initiator role.
Oh yeah, I mean, as we all know, Ascent is a classic map. It is that first map we play, even a tutorial. Like, that is the map, the OG. So it is quite interesting for their agent picks here, because with Ghosty being their duelist, the usual, and they could take advantage with the openings here, and especially with Omen here, and he could put up some smoke, maybe some one-way smoke as well.
Yeah, of course. There's a lot of availability on how these players decide to use that utility. But we can't forget about our sponsors. Our sponsors, nothing this preseason would have been possible without, of course, our sponsors. PC Express, PH's leading computer and tech retailer. A huge selection of desktop PCs, laptops, smartphones, gaming gear, and from top brands. So PC Express for all of your digital needs. And of course, we can't forget about Virginia Food Incorporated. Basta Hot Dog Virginia. But meanwhile, as I was talking about our sponsors, there's already been first blood drawn, of course, by USPF.
Oh, okay. They're going with the aggressive side here. They're just with a smoke from... Hang on, we're just checking. Okay. Oh! Oni, 77, putting Ghosty down with a classic gun. Bunny L as well. Oh my goodness. With a 4v2 situation here. They're taking their time. Should they rush or should they not?
Yeah, the Shock Tart even as well. USPF Bunny L gonna get tagged up. But they're still pretty strong in this setup. 4-on-2. UV have to look for a way to get back into But Bunny L and the rest of USPF looking to deny that. Even as well, the Killjoy from USPF side already making his way towards mid, making sure that they can't, like the option to rotate is not available for USPF.
They seem pretty tight in the situation here. They're really, USPF. They're very territorial, like just like Panthers, just like Predators, and they have this iron wall defense.
Oh, they're trying to go in, but the setup from USPF is too strong. Blurred and Baniel combining there to defend that side. A side is closed. USPF holds strong.
Taking their time here with UV, and USPF being defensive as always, and they kind of read them like, okay, we're going to A, oh B, oh A. They like to confuse their team here, and I think that's a great advantage for USPF. They like to play with their food, just like Panthers.
Just because they are Panthers.
Definitely.
They have to play with their food. But of course, now UV, after getting stopped towards that A site, they're looking to move towards, B instead.
Oh.
Ooh, that setup once again. Just a reason for chip damage. Once that, turret finds value. Ooh, Kibi gonna take out Oni there. The force buy off to a bad start, but Kyoshi able to find one as well. Oh, the swing from Keishi, but Kyoshi. Better Killjoy, it looks like. 2 kills in the round. And UV making their way towards the site. The spike is gonna get planted here. 3-on-3 for this retake.
Notice just how aggressive they are with defending their plays, with their sites. And, it's a great advantage for them.
Yeah, they're making their way toward the site. The shots there from Ghosty not gonna land, but Baniel will pick it up. The area there, Blurred, not checking the corner. Ghosty, it's all up to him. 5 bullets, forced to reload. 1v1, duelist versus duelist. They're trying to push here. The tap on towards the spike. The swing coming in from Ghosty. And he lands the shot. Ghosty, the savior of USPF. A same impact from last week. He's showing why he was the MVP last week. He's gunning for that MVP spot once again this week.
Oh my goodness, that was a spectacular round. They were out for blood, especially with Ghosty here. He immediately went through, and the strategy here is just still showing aggression, just like last week's match. And they're still showing their aggression here. And you can see with their eco round here, USPF is just using with their Sheriff and other weapons as well that could use them to their advantage. And with UV here, with the Spectres, they can definitely take that kill if they... Spectre is actually a really good weapon, with this, especially with this map. It is not that long, and it's quite perfect for its size for a Spectre.
Yeah, but the util getting thrown out here for the side of USPF. Keishi as well. Gonna find the first blood here. Disaster, it looks like, for UV. Losing already one of their rifles in this round. They have to convert this round, mind you. Oni is gonna find one as well with that Spectre. But Ghosty with an answer. 3-on-4 now in favor of USPF. But Yuzin is gonna get one himself, making it a 3-on-3. But low health bars from the side of UV. 2 members, it looks like, are just one exhale away from these enemies. And a swing coming out here. Keishi able to find one, but trades coming left, right, and center. And what a way to end it. Blurred and Ghosty gonna pick up a pail apiece, and USPF convert their bonus. They go up 3-0, and that economy is gonna snowball.
Definitely. Ghosty and Blurred seems like a really great duo, huh? They're...
Exactly.
Their entire strategy here with their team is just phenomenal. They take their time, yet show aggression. They show intimidation, but not enough to scare them away. They just they know how to... UV, credits to UV, they know how to hold their ground. Yeah.
Absolutely. They know, they were trying their hardest there. These rounds are going down to the wire. It's not as easy as, despite the scoreboard saying it's 3-0, those rounds have been as close as possible. Apart from, I would say, the first round maybe, where, USPF was able to get a foothold early into the round, but it looks like they are going to swing into Kibi here with that Vandal. Oni 7 is going to have to pace up with that, but he's opting not to go for it, it looks like.
Look at them, they're just traveling together, checking on that peak arch over there, archway. Oh! Hang on. Okay, the smoke dissipated. Now this could be an advantage for them to just push, or maybe not.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It could be an advantage, but it
Maybe
looks
not.
like USPS already have a good read here with the push from Ghosty over
Oh.
towards that A site, and the recon now gonna give USPF as much info as possible.
And with that, immediately retreated. just when their info
After
got
getting
revealed.
scanned, but Ghosty is waiting in the wings.
Oh!
He finds two. Can he get the three here? The spray doesn't go well, and the smoke, a bit of an error there from Ghosty, but he did the damage he needed. Blurred is gonna go for the push as well. He goes flashes. They're not looking right there, but he finds two. Blurred stepping up when his team needs him, and we talked about it, Sunby, for the duo between Blurred and Ghosty
Yes.
are absolutely doing it here in this round number 4.
They practically read each other's lines here. That is insane. They lurked. It was a really good lurk. They knew they were gonna go. They knew they were gonna retreat and go to the other site. But no, USPF read that. They're quite known to read their enemies pretty well. Now they have an advantage with 4-0.
Yeah, exactly. The 4-0 advantage now for USPF, but it is going to be the gun round available for UV. This could be the moment where they decide to switch it up, but the spam there, Oni already in orange.
Oh, with that one-way smoke, they
Yeah.
knew they had to not push. That could be a risk for them, and they knew that.
Yeah, no spaces here at USPF, but they are, I mean, for UV at least, they are making their way towards mid.
Yep.
But
Slowly.
Kibi is just waiting there. The first contact is
Oh.
there, and Kibi nails the headshot.
Oh.
Gonna get blinded though. John Shonen is gonna answer, but Blurred gets one himself. Kyoshi with an answer back, shuts down Blurred. They're making their way towards the site. The paranoia only lands onto one, and Kyoshi not blinded, not paranoid, but ghosty as well, turning Kyoshi into a ghost. 2-on-2 now. Retake. USPF. They want to convert this, but UV on the they need. Oh, they're gonna spot out one player, Ghosty, but Yuzin is able to answer back. Keishi!
Oh!
But falls down on the box. He's not gonna hit the shot.
my
And
goodness.
UV get on the board.
Now this is a great advantage for UV now. I'm pretty aware that they're thinking, okay, they're aggressive. We should step up with our setups here. You know, they have Killjoy here with UV, and that could be a really good advantage for them. And I wonder what could they bring to the table at the moment.
Yeah, there's a lot of questions for UV, considering that this is their first match of the preseason. So we're going to have to wait and see what exactly they can offer. Once again in the B side, the Killjoy and Sova set up as Ghosty just walks into the freest kill of his life. One just walking into his crosshair. And
That-
Bunny L as well. USPF Panthers. It looks like they're the ones that are attacking with how many times they're pushing.
Notice how they're like
The recon
immediately-
dart and the spam
Oh!
from the Odin. So much value found by Kibi.
Oh my goodness, they are out for blood, and UV here attempting to go back to A, and of course I feel like USPF read their body language.
Yeah, I feel
here.
like this is as good. This is
They
as good
knew.
as a position
Look
you
at
get.
that.
Bunny L. He's trying to find out where the rest of UV is, but Ice K. He's gonna come out on top. Blurred though. Are they gonna check him here in this corner? It looks like they don't. Oh, the trigger
my
discipline. He
goodness.
does get cleared out. The shots don't spray. The spray does not connect. But ICK still alive. 3v1. He has to find 3, but he has to deal with that operator from Ghosty or the Kibi spam. The Odin spam. You hate to see it, but Kibi with that Odin is just a menace on a map like Ascent.
Definitely. You know, Ascent has a lot of tight corners, tight elbows, and pockets you could hide in, and that would be an advantage for them. But of course, with Blurred's trigger discipline, that gave him a kill. And kudos to the Odin there. Odin is just
Exactly.
a menace
Yeah,
here. You know?
not to mention the tight corners in Ascent, but you have to remember as well that there are paper thin walls here. Odin is as advantageous as it. You know, a lot of walls where you can spam in. You can spam it through A Heaven. You can spam it through B Main, as we saw a while ago when Kyoshi fell victim at Odin.
Ooh, yes, definitely. Now,
Yeah, but there's a lot of, you know, things available from USPF to take a hold of. Meanwhile, in UV though, that says a lot as it gets.
Yes.
5 ultimates available, and it looks like this is going to be their, you know, a little bit of a mixed buy. They don't have the best weaponry available to them, but they have the ultis to back it up. I don't know though if you would want to commit ultimates in a not so strong buy.
yeah, because, you know, knowing Killjoy's ultimate, you know, you could just take that advantage by planning that spike, activating the ultimate, pushing their attacker, the defenders away from the side, and that could be a great advantage for them. And with Sova's Hunter's Fury, when they could defuse the spike, he could just activate it right then and there.
Yeah, he really just could, and it looks like UV are going to push the B site once again. The showstopper has been committed, but Keishi is gonna fight 2 and a 3rd with the Nano Swarm as 4th as well. He's up for the ace here, but he already got taken out there, and it's all up to John Shonen. He does find one more. That's his 2nd in the round. They're gonna break up that door.
1v2.
Another angle they have to deal with. 2 versus 1. Blurred and Ghosty are going to have to deal with John Shonen here, who only has that shift! But the timing there! Ghosty, his teammates, I believe, just gave him all the needed.
The Valorant timing right there, it feels like, you know, their duo, their interaction here. They immediately knew, okay, once Reyna's ability is up there, of course, they would have to immediately peek, and they knew that. Yeah. They really knew how to read their opponents.
Absolutely. And you know, there's a lot of synergy you can see from the side of USPF, knowing and realizing where and when, you know, they have a good read technically about where UV want to take a hit, how UV reacts, and it looks like the experience, you can see the experience, you know, VCT experience from Blurred as well. I think I'm not really typically sure, but I have a hunch that Blurred should be or is actually the IGL, and if he is, he's actually making a lot of great calls as to, you know, managing the rest of his team. Whenever they feel like there's a lot of presence towards one side, the players from the opposite side typically try to get as much info as possible. They try to push and get info onto the whereabouts of UV, even if, you know, the players from the site where UV are looking to hit usually are giving a lot, are, you know, gaining a lot of info. There's a lot of noise here, there's a lot of footsteps. On the other side as well, the players there aren't just staying around site, they're either rotating or they're going for flanks, which just, you know, secures the read here for USPF. And again, they are going to give out some info. Kyoshi is gonna get caught out with that 0 point.
Yeah, but one-way smoke there. They're kind of hesitating to push there. Of course, we all, for those who do not know, that one-way smoke is preventing from opponents to push through because you can see their legs, but of course, from the opponent's side, you can't see that. So that would be a great advantage for the defending team. And
absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. They're waiting for that smoke to dissipate and using with a Blurred's ability.
Yeah, it looks like this could be
to
the push
prevent them
here.
from pushing. And another one-way smoke.
Yeah, they're going to delay as much as possible here, considering that the rest of their team are just playing passive this round. They're trying to switch it up a few rounds. They have been going aggressive, and the 0 point timing there to delay that drone, but Oni doesn't need a drone to get a kill. He will just win out with that duel. The Hunter's Fury getting invested by Kibi here, but it's not gonna land onto anyone. The ult from Ghosty, I should say, is just absolutely landing those shots. The recon to push them back into the smoke, but the lockdown is gonna pop here in just a second. Meanwhile, Ghosty has been detained. They are gonna try to push here though, but it's only Ghosty who's been detained. The rest of his teammates have not been, and Kibi will claim out a kill here. Jen Shonen a bit too aggressive there on towards that side. They are gonna use the ulti from the Sova to break the killjoy as Ghosty is gonna land another shot, but UV have made this a 2-on-1. One player left. K cannot clutch as Ghosty claims his third in the round, and it will be USPF going for round 7.
USPF is going insane at this moment. They are incredibly aggressive. They immediately push through. They are incredibly defensive, very territorial as well, and they are incredibly unpredictable. So many words to describe their momentum here, you know.
Yeah, the way that they are controlling the pace of the game, you could see it as well. Even though UV are the attacking side, USPF is doing a great job at delaying and dictating when these attackers can push with those one ways, with the setup B. You know, that Killjoy turret, even though you could say it is easily broken early on into the round, that does give a go signal for the Sova to shoot the shock dart or to spam the wall. But Ghosty gonna get droned out, clear towards mid. Now UV have a little bit of space here. Only 7 once again as John Shonen off screen takes out Bunny L. Man advantage for UV here. This is as good as a round as it gets for the side of UV. Even that recon to clear Ghosty out, he can't even peek despite getting forced back all the way, deep spawn.
Now
they're looking to go for this B push.
They're confusing. Like they're what should we do? They could probably think that right now.
The paranoia getting invested, but Keishi in that B site is gonna get 2 before Yuzin finally takes him down. Meanwhile, the pincer from Oni is read by Ghosty. He will get taken out. 2v3 now in favor of USPF. The spike has been planted, but USPF 3-man strong are gonna go look for this retake. The smoke up towards Speedway to delay that push up there. The recon as well. He could get spammed through here. The drone is going to spot him as well. Ghosty hits the shot with the Vandal and Blurred. Once again, the Ghosty Blurred cleaning up things for USPF. 8-1 now. USPF running away in this first half.
My goodness. This gives them a great advantage with their economy here. And UV, I think they could somehow improve with their setups here. You know, with they have a Sova. They can gather intel from the sites there, and with Killjoy's other abilities, they could prevent them pushing through on sites. I think that's something they could really work on. You know, like they are incredibly aggressive with USPF. And I think UV would have to adjust quickly here and there.
Yeah, if they want to salvage this round, they are going to have to adjust. And that could be a very big opening that UV could take advantage of. Ghosty already taking a lot of damage early on into the round. But Kibi with the timing, he missed. ICK is going to come out on top of that duel. Sova v Sova action. And ICK is going to win that duel out. Meanwhile, UV already making their way towards mid. 5-man strong. A death ball, I should say. And Blurred is going to make contact with his finds one, finds a second. Cannot get the third. But Ghosty hits an op shot, taking down 3 members of UV, evening us up 2-on-2. And the timing from Keishi here is phenomenal. But he can't grab the shots. John Shonen comes out on top with that duel. And it's a free A site. Bunny L will have to retake this against these 2 players, Yuzin and John Shonen. They're gonna have to remain strong here. Bunny L, do they have a good read on towards his timing here in mid? He's already making his way towards side, tucking towards defense. Does he check close though? The info has been gathered, and John Shonen comes out on top, finds his third in the round, and UV make it 8-2.
That was incredibly great. They traveled in packs in mid, and they nearly got all of them killed, but of course they immediately went to site and planted as once they were there. It was a free site. It was a great advantage. And that is something that UV should emphasize more. That was a good match. Kudos to them. Kudos. Now, we're going to see what's going to happen here. Will they push mid? Will they push A? Will they push B?
We're gonna have to wait and see. Meanwhile, the push has been made mid. Yuzin is gonna take out Blurred. A great one to find. One of the duo already taken out. Goes still that operator ready and waiting for UV. in towards his crossfire.
Now, they're slowly making their way to A sites.
Oh, they
they're
don't
in-
clear Bunny
Oh!
L. Keishi and Ghosty will find a kill apiece as well as Kibi.
4v2.
But Bunny L, they didn't clear him towards main. He will find two. Phenomenal hold from USPF. Immediately holding on towards that, momentum. It's completely in USPF's favor. Now in the final round, UV have to scramble for a buy that I don't even know if you consider it. Actually, it is a buy. They still have 3 rifles available: 2 Vandals, a Guardian,
An Ares.
an Ares, and a Stinger.
Yeah, that is something, you can make anything out of it. Just, Ascent is a really good map for any gun, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ares actually
It's okay.
is also a penetration, but UV they're already making their way towards the B side. The satchel forward from Oni7, but the scan spots him out, but Keishi cannot hit the shots. They're trying to push further though, get as many kills as he can, but Kibi with a phenomenal read through the smoke. He is gonna hit that shot. Oni7 here has to get one. He can't. He's trying to. He finally gets one, but the trade from Bunny L. The shot from Blurred is phenomenal. Takes out one towards the side. 3v2. Blurred making his way towards the side. Finds a second and the third to finish us off here in this round.
Blurred.
The first half ends with USPF heading to double digits. And the writing on the wall here for UV. They're going to have to adjust as much as possible here in the second half in their defender if they want any chance of a comeback in this game.
Oh yeah, that first match was something. That was phenomenal. Like, they immediately pushed through his side, yet they really held their territory down. They did something. They really worked hard together. UV really tried to make out of it with despite their low eco. They do try to make something with their kills, with their guns, with their stinger and the areas.
Of course.
Yeah.
Agree. Completely agree. But of course, we're gonna have to mention, of course, our minor sponsors, the company Mandaue, Cebu Mandaue. We can't forget about where we are right now. We are currently at the company, the Mandaue branch, and I would just like to add that this is a very welcoming space. It is a very good space for anything that you want to do. And of course, we can't forget about Crayon Lab with their customized prints. And now we head back into the second half. USPF now on the attacking.
Oh yeah, this is quite interesting, because with their strategy here, USPF, they are
Going for a split.
These immediately switch strategies from match after match, from round after round rather, and they're incredibly fast paced. They're aggressive. They like to travel in packs. They're like Panthers roaming through the jungle, waiting for their prey.
Yeah, exactly. And as we speak about waiting, Keishi waiting for that kill to walk into his lap, but Jan Shonen able to get him back before he can do any more damage. Ghosty with the help from Blurred's flash tries to go one before going down though, but Blurred as well. Answer 1v2. Jan Shonen left. He is tapped up, full HP now, even 150. Hits the beautiful one tap onto Blurred. Only one more to find. Fakes the reload. He does win out the peak, and Bunny L will lose to John Shonen. A huge 4K there from the Reyna. Can they get the defuse though? I believe there is a time. 2 seconds to spare there, Lar. And UV start off the second half running with winning that pistol.
That was a spectacular round. They really held their ground. They prevented, despite planting that spike, he was patient. John Shonen was very patient. He was not rash. He was like, okay, I'm going to keep this calm. I'm going to relax my aim. And there you have it. They eventually win this round.
UV, this is like their first game of the preseason. This season number 3. Of course, they you expect nerves during your first couple of games before you actually react, before it actually sets in. But Jan Shonen, as you mentioned, no nerves there, calming himself, making sure he lines up the shot properly, and the blind a bit too perfect there. USPF winning out with just these classics. they're able to get the upgrades that they need to, get a firm grasp here. And John Shonen they need another huge round from him. But Bunny L will win out on that duel. Forced to reload, runs out of bullets. Oni 7 will get an answer back. 3v1 though. He has to find 3 more kills to be able to bring this back for the rest of his team.
Clock is ticking. The clock is ticking. Will Oni 7 to 7.
One, he can't find the second. Kibi with 1 HP, I might add, somehow avenges his teammate, and now the momentum completely taken back by USPF after UV have won that pistol. Now they're kind of making their way, and we absolutely talked about it before.
Yeah.
Ghosty and Blurred, the dynamic duo of USPF,
Definitely.
leading the charge, 18-7-1. Meanwhile, Blurred has 16-7-6.
Yeah, I mean, UV may have a disadvantage with their eco, but of course they have available utilities here. They could use that abilities rather. They gather information, smokes from different openings, especially A site. They have a lot of openings here, despite that door on the left side.
Absolutely. The execution now, though, coming in from USPF, already making their way towards site. The spike has already been planted. UV with the weaker weaponry are going to have to retake this. A little bit of a read here from Oni 7, but he doesn't clear it properly. Bunny L is gonna get a free kill there. I might say only a little bit of damage there as Kibi as well. They're pushing they know they have the guns to back it up. Bird with another 3K. Phenomenal call there. Side of USPF. Now they're up to match point. What can they do here? Doesn't look like much, but they still have the credits to buy a couple of rifles apart from using with only that stinger.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's 2 of them, Yuzin and Oni 77 are using, like, light armor here with the Bulldog. And, it could be a slight disadvantage, but you know what? There are abilities. They could really strengthen their defense here. I think that's something they could really work on to prevent the aggressors from pushing into sites.
Oh no, Oni 7, that's not what you want at the start of your potential game-losing round. But ICK, oh my goodness, that spam to the smoke from Keishi is gonna find value. Bunny L as well in mid is gonna kill Yazin, able to answer back, but Blurred is gonna end it out with a kill himself, making it a 3-on-2. They're trying to clear using but Kibi is able to hammer down the final nail in UV's coffin in that final moment.
Oh my goodness, that was a crazy game. That is, they are incredibly aggressive. Like USPF, of course, they immediately push. They seek for first blood, especially with Ghosty, with insane kills and with the support of his duo, Blurred. Yeah, their momentum with the game is incredibly powerful, and of course, kudos to UV.
Absolutely.
They really worked hard, and despite a few disadvantages there, and I think USPF could read their strategy, like their style now, and that is.
There was. No, I'm not gonna say anything too harsh, but they kind of made it somewhat easy for USPF to read them. They balled up on one side. So it kind of gave USPF the freedom to go for those flanks, knowing that UV have a tendency to just ball up 5-man strong. Of course, it gave them strength. The confidence to go for those push. But of course, the MVP of this game, none other, of course, than Blurred. Spectacular performance there on that KO. Kind of talked to them earlier. I did say if you are gonna win this game, you better be the MVP, and he delivered.
Definitely.
300 ACS.
That is insane.
During even the close to the final round, he did have that huge 3K. Amazing performance here from Blurred, and of course the rest of USPF, UV. They're gonna have to go back into the drawing board if they want a chance to win the second game, which is going to be Bind, I believe.
Oh, Bind. That is
Bind. That's your favorite map, Blair?
No, I don't like that map. That is There's a lot of openings, but
There's a lot of
that could be an advantage for UV here. They like their smokes. They could use Omen. They could use a Viper. There are many potential agents that could
Absolutely.
be of use for Bind, because Bind it's something. It's definitely something.
It is. It is something. And we have differing opinions on that. But enough about the second map. We have to, of course, mention our wonderful sponsors.
Of
None of this
course.
wouldn't have been possible without our sponsors. PC Express, the PH Philippines' leading computer and tech retailer. A huge selection of desktop PCs, laptops, smartphones, gaming gear, PC components, and accessories from top brands. Of course, PC Express for all your digital needs. And of course, you can't forget about
Virginia Food Incorporated, a food manufacturing company that touched the lives of Filipinos with its premium canned and frozen processed meat products. And you know what they all say? Basta hot dog, Virginia. Oh, I love that. I love that line.
We can't forget about the hot dogs. I actually had, just a few minutes ago before coming here to the company, I actually had a breakfast from Virginia. They're hot dogs. They're mini ones though. They're mini ones.
Oh, I love that.
I kind of love that. But of course, that's why you can see, the energy coming from me this early on. But of course, that will be a wrap for game number 1. USPF come out on top between this matchup. We'll be back with you after a 30-minute break.
What is up again, CEL fans? What a pleasant morning, afternoon, and evening to you all. Welcome to CEL Esports League, CESAFI Esports League, rather, preseason week 2, game 1. For the first half, it was USPF Panthers versus UV Green Lancers, and that was an amazing game.
Amazing game,
Definitely.
Of course. The entirety of USPF was on a roll. UV, weren't able to contain that what USPF were trying to cook up. They didn't have the answers to the game plan of course, USPF. That US was able to take that first game, and somewhat dominantly, I might add, with how they were able to read UV. There was even like a few rounds where UV were able to fight back, but somehow, some way, there were a lot of clutches from, of course, mainly you could think about the players who were leading the clutches that way. It was mainly the duo of USPF, Blurred and Ghosty. But despite them, performing well, clutching well, you can't discredit the rest of USPF.
Oh, yes.
The entirety of USPF, not just those two players, have immensely grown, have, contributed into that win, which is why, you highlighted that they move in packs like Panthers do. That they were playing as a pack as well. One player trying to go for the killing blow, and the other one trying to set him up in the most optimal way by throwing a flash, by throwing a paranoia, by aiding them, covering fire, smokes, trading. You can see the complete package of USPF. They were like a well-oiled machine during that entire first game. You can see it in their performance. You can see it in how they executed when they entered sites or when they were defending. You could see this immensely how they were able to move around the map, how they were able to and got very read on, of course, UV, who weren't able to do that much during that first game. They were able to make a few rounds close, but of course USPF were the eventual victors.
I could definitely agree on that. And this would give UV, they would have to really push into a different strategy now, since USPF, they really immediately think of a different strategy in different rounds. Like, okay, they like to corner them up, just like what he said. With the efforts of the other team, they knew how to gather them up, setting them up for a trap. They like to corner them. They like to surround, like, something USPF is their strategy is pushing into victory. And I think that UV should really push with their defense skills and with their pushing as well, or just taking their time, play for picks. There are some certain ways to, for those who aren't really aware with how Valorant works, or for those the new viewers out here, Valorant is a 5v5 strategy game. Like it would involve it would involve a lot of thinking, planning, just not by yourself but with your team as well. It is very important. And as we can see here with the map bind, my goodness, and it is quite interesting to see with the roulette here of the agents, with UV, with Kiyoshi as Cypher, KO as ICK as KO, Oni7 as Raze. Oh, 2 duelists. That is actually
Double
interesting.
duelist,
Yeah.
double duelist comp.
And we have with USPF, we have a Bunny L as Brimstone, Gecko as Kibia, Sky as Blurred, Raze. Oh, a Ghost, another duelist. Ghosty's really going for the duelist right here.
The duelist role is secured by Ghosty.
Yeah.
But we have to mention, of course, our sponsors. None of this wouldn't have been possible without our sponsors. Virginia Food Incorporated, a food manufacturing company that has touched the lives of Filipinos with its premium canned and frozen processed meat products. Basta hot dog.
Virgin,
yeah, of course. And can't forget about PC Express.
Oh, yes.
The Philippines' leading computer and tech retailer. PC Express for all your digital needs. But with those sponsors, of course, most of these players you know, if you want to play like them, if you want to perform like them, you have to have the
Good
best
gear.
gear. You know?
Yes.
You have to have the best gear. And where else can you get it except Speed Express?
Yeah,
Philippines is
definitely.
Philippines is leading, you know, computer and tech retailer. If you want to perform the best, you have to make sure that your body is, of course, ready to perform at that level. So you have to, you know, eat the best possible. Can you get the best food?
Oh,
Other than, of
Virginia.
course, Virginia Food
Definitely.
Incorporated. So for
Forever
the map
love that.
underway, USPF are leading 1-0, and UV are trying to make it a draw here in this game number 2 to make it 1-1. Can they do it though?
Oh yeah, because you know USPF have this advantage here. They are the attacking team this time, and knowing them, they're aggressive, and UV would have to, you know, strengthen their stronghold here, their sights, and now you can see that they're actually pushing immediately going up on sights. They've been taking their time, just immediately going there with the blurred skies dog.
Absolutely, the Trailblazer leading the way, trying to get as much info as possible. Meanwhile, the spams from both sides
Spike
are
planted.
getting a little bit of damage. No kills so far. The flash from the Gecko on the backside. Not gonna catch anyone out, but the push from Bunny L is read by Kyoshi. He had the advantage there, but trades coming
player
from left, right,
standing.
and center. Bodies fall, and at the end of it all, only 7 is, but no more as Niel finishes him off. USPF, in similar to Game 1 fashion, they take the first pistol.
You know, heavily emphasized, you know, they are fast-paced. They're incredibly fast-paced, and that could bring intimidation to the opposing team. And, you know, with their agents are actually very useful here with Vine, you know, with Cypher's Cyber Cage, with KO's Dagger, and with Omen's with his Smoke. They could take that into advantage to prevent the opposing team from pushing on sites.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you have to remember that even though they are fast, USP is a very calculated team as they're
Oh,
already
yeah.
making their way towards U-Hauls. And they're still making their way. They're trying to fight back. UV, but it looks like they can't. Ghosty and Niel getting a kill apiece, making UV's hold that much weaker. Niel with a second in the round. And it's just a spam there.
Ooh.
It looks like it's all she wrote for UV, using only finding 1 kill, and USPF run away with that second round.
You know, notice how they usually plant default or a default B as well, and with Gecko here, he could use Wingman's ability to plant the spike for them, and I think this is something that UV could some traps, gather intel with their KO, and with Cypher's camera as well. It could be very, very useful to gather information for them. And as you can see, they are already trying to get info from the opposing team, but of course they already
Oh,
got it.
Ghosty leading the way, but John Shonen with the superior weapon coming out on top of that duel. Meanwhile, USPF trying to push further and towards Lambs, but of course, UV are just not going to give up that space for free. The spike has already been planted. Man advantage for UV though, as well as the gun advantage. They're still trying to retake this site. The spams though, you are not hitting somehow.
Oh my!
So Kibi is landing these shots. Oni 7 as well. And hit kill for himself. From Blurred is phenomenal, but the kill not found. One tap from Blurred. Oni 7 out for the count. Blurred still such a menace. Super annoying into this round. They can't clear him. He clears them instead, and USPF convert the bonus.
My discipline with their aim here.
Yeah.
They did not whiff or anything like that. And
Absolutely.
actually, you know, with USPF's advantage here, especially with their eco route, they can now use their money to buy handle. And I think Guardian is actually a good weapon for Vine for its long distance. And kudos to UV actually doing their best to defend their site.
Yeah, they really made it close during that round, but they weren't able to clear Blurred
Yes, yeah.
in that labs area, and he him into minced meat. And now they're going to set their sights on B this time around. 4 members strong towards long. Guanajuato, the tripwire is going to land, but there's no fire coming in from UV. They're not going to be able to convert finally though. Blurred, able to get the first blood. Oh, Ghosty. Cool, calm, and collected. Making sure that all his bullets land. Blurred. Stepping up when his team needs him most. Kills for Blurred and 4 rounds for USP.
With the help of USPF's team, they gathered information for Blurred right there. And notice how they have incredible map awareness here. And they really use the sound as to their advantage. And notice how like Sky's dog, it was walking on sight and they could hear gunshots from the right side and immediately stunning them and getting that advantage for USPF Panthers. And now we can see what are they going to do next. Now Gecko is using his ultimate, searching for potential opponents.
Oh, it's not going to land onto
just
anyone though,
close.
but so much info is gathered from that Thrash. They're making their way towards site now. The satchel out. Do they clear Oni 7? It looks like they don't, but Oni 7 doesn't land the shots. Finally though, with the readjustment, he lands it, but Ghosty with a 3-man kill showstopper. Oni 7 as well with the showstopper himself, but it doesn't land onto anyone else. Niel has to clutch up here, 2v1. Page shells getting thrown towards Hookah to push him back, but Kyoshi low.
Using the camera. But
Camera.
immediately shot.
Oh my goodness!
my gosh!
The spam through the smoke, through the pedal is not there, but only 7 able to hold down the fort. He clutches up for UV, and now UV is on the board.
Oh my goodness! With Cypher's camera right there, just 1 second from being shot down, he immediately knew where he was. I think that is, Cypher's very common. He's a very common agent here to find, and you can see both Cyphers already. Yeah.
The util here, the util spread towards B, or even those signature A setups where you don't expect the tripwire to be placed in that stair. When you're trying to go down, you could get easily spammed through heaven if you get caught with those tripwires. Meanwhile, the Sky Flash is gonna fly, but it's not even needed. It's Ghosty. He's gonna get that raised diff. The hero of last round.
I've got your trail.
I should say Oni 7 is already out for the count in this round, and USPF get a free plant, freer than free, I should say.
Oh yes, they're just pushing them back actually from their defender sites. Now they're attempting to retake the site, taking their
Looks
time
like
here.
they're gonna go for a timing here. The Flash is getting hold by Blurred. If they could time it well, this could absolutely be beautiful, and it is too. Quick kills make it 4. They wipe out UV in the blink of an eye. Blink and you miss it. USPF for 5.
Oh, wow, their teamwork is amazing here. They really know how to work together as a team. Their communications are incredible. They're phenomenal. And with proper communication, you can achieve that victory. And UV here, they kind of facing a bit of a struggle here with Ani 77 here on just B, just by himself, while the rest of his team are watching over A.
Yeah, they're gambling for this A stack,
Yeah.
knowing that they do have
That's a risk.
weaker weapons. They are taking a risk here by stacking up towards A. They're gonna try to defeat USPF here with numbers, not necessarily with a gunfire. It's Ghosty.
my God.
Yute's a very amazing opener, and the tripwire set up there is going to land, but the info has not given. The trade, Niel gonna win out on that, Bunny L as well, and it's all up to Yuzin. But the neural theft is gonna give USPF all the info they need. Niel picks up his 3rd, and USPF pick up their 6th round.
That neural theft gave them the information they need. That is, oh my goodness, that was a fast-paced match, right? Like, they're incredibly fast. They are unpredictable at this point. And UV, they are now working at 2 here in B and 3 on A, trying to set up some traps here, tripwires, with Raze looking over at the mid.
Absolutely. The setup here, now USPF much pressure on Showers. They opt to go for that, but Yuzin able to TP out, not in any real danger just because of that reposition. Meanwhile,
USPF already making their way towards the site. Spike will get planted here by Blurred in just a second.
Oh.
And Kibi able to punish Kyoshi for a little bit of an overpeak there, as John Shonen as well. With the flank, he's going to find two. The players of Shower have been cleared, but Blurred with that shorty will do a lot of damage, of course, but an answer though from UV. Blurred has the clutch! He finds his third in the round with that amazing flick. John Shonen and Webmasters. Oh my God! And Blurred will clutch up for USPF. 7 rounds now. Blurred feeling it here in game number 2.
Oh my goodness, they were cornered up for sure. They were well rounded up by their team and giving Blurred and Blurred giving them the opportunity to take their prey down just like a cat. They like to pounce on their prey from the back. That was interesting.
Absolutely. Blurred leading the charge now in this game number 2. 14-1-4. Absolutely phenomenal.
Wow.
The only time he's died is the one round that they did end up losing. And it looks like, again, a similar setup here from USPF actually going for a little bit of a fake here, trying to bait as many rotations as he can. Blurred though, he might just murder the entire team of UV. He's gonna land a second kill. He's still gonna go for more though. Oh, finally, Blurred taking out ICK. He's gonna answer back now that the plant has been secured for USPF. UV finally know that the ruse is up. They have planted towards B. They have a lot of ground to cover here. If they want to retake the site, the smoke is going to delay them for as much as humanly possible. Bunny L though is gonna flush out that flank from K. It's a 2v3 now in favor of USPF. They're gonna have to come up clutch here for the side of UV if they want to, but the Gecko flush is absolutely phenomenal. Bunny L and Ghosty set up for greatness, and they deliver for USPF.
USPF definitely read UV's strategy. They knew someone is going to be in this specific area in A, and they just immediately read that. Okay, I look at the map right now. Look, you can see Reina from UV is staying in that specific area as usual, and of course, I feel like USPF is reading on that already. They like to read their opponents, and UV would have to keep up with their defense here, not entirely leaving the site, so that they won't have the time to,
Yeah, they're gonna have to start switching up if they want to try to, contest these executes from USPF, because their setups so far have not been working.
Exactly.
The ulti from the Gecko though, from the KO I should say, as Oni7 is gonna land a phenomenal shot there on Taniel. The paint shells go absolutely nowhere near USPF, but the Thrash did not land onto Oni7. He will get back safely, but the rotations here from UV are right on time. The spike though still gonna get planted though, relatively for free. There's a little bit of no contest there from UV, just giving the plant for free. Kyoshi with the flank, but he gets stiffed out by Kibi immediately. Only a sheriff, only 7 gonna find one back, but Kibi continuing his reign of terror. Ghosty has a timing here, finds one, finds two. Can he get the third? The swing coming through.
Oh, Ghosty!
He finds it. Ghosty leading the way as USPF go up 9 rounds to 1.
They really like to lurk. They really like to go behind their prey here. I think, like what you've said, the UV needs to step up with their defense, because their setups are not entirely working, and I think that is something they could adjust to based on their enemies' strategies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Honestly, agree. Honestly, they're kind of cooking UV right now. UV have had a lot of chances to try to get back into the game. They've made a few rounds close, but still, they kind of need that factor, the closer factor. They have been able to make it close during these rounds, but they haven't been able to get off that hurdle, which is, of course, USPF. The tripwire setup. You just gonna give them a little bit of information onto where Ghosty is, and the jewel from John Show. Ghosty leading the charge now. They already made their way towards, but ICK is alone. Only 7 gonna find one with the showstopper, and Ghosty with his third in the round, up for the ace here if he can find it. But the shutdown from Yuzin, spectacular Ferrari peak there. Bunny L answering bring back, and it's all up to Yuzin. Can he find anything here? At least damage. The best you could do in this situation is damage. Realizing that one of those players is low. That Gecko is low. But Bunny L waiting in the wings.
Oh,
Not even
my
needed.
goodness.
Niel hits the shot. USPF head up to double digits.
You know, with last time before the switch, we are about to see what is going to happen next. You know, like, should they change their strategy? Should they keep aggressive pace here? And notice how Sky from USPF don't hesitate to use their abilities. You know, like that is a great advantage for Bayern. You know, with a lot of openings, that is Sky's dog is definitely useful for this map.
Absolutely. So many corners you have to clear. The Trailblazer is just spectacular for that job. The
Look,
Trailblazer,
right?
though, not a... He cleared. John showed it, and he does find one. The dismiss, though, is going to keep him safe for now, but not safe long enough for Ghosty. They try to stop the plant, but the tag from the neural theft is there. Blurred, running and gunning, not even needing to stop. 11 rounds now for USPF, and they are firmly in the driver's seat.
They are hungry for the kill. And of course, we would also like to thank our sponsors here, the company Cebu Mandaue here at Appear Media Street and a Korean Lab for their apparel. Yes,
absolutely. None of this wouldn't have been possible without their support.
Yes, yes.
And now we're back. That PF favorite.
Quite well. And based from the last match, UV attacking side, I think that is something to they need to switch their strategy about a bit. I think you have many times to lurk here. Or
ooh, this is a
even
bit of
go
a
to another
gamble from
side.
USPF. They're pushing long, and the gamble is perfect for them. USPF claimed 2 kills. Blurred and Kibi, a kill apiece. They're trying to push further, though. They have a read here. Even the TP from Niel. All members of USPF and pay. Looks like USPF are on match point.
With a match point already, that is intense. That was intense. They were pretty quick. They are out for blood. And yes, and UV is a bit of a struggle here. They're kind of a low on right now with the eco, with the stinger, with the classic, and with the sheriff. Oh, also with ICK with their Spectre here. That is a good, you know, risk for that.
Yeah, they're gonna have to force by here. They have no other option if they want to come back here. But USPF still trying to push long here, though, but immediately not finding anyone with the fight. They decide to take the TP, but UV are going for the duel somehow, some way. ICK with the help of John Shannon able to get a kill back. 4 on 4 now. UV trying to go with it, but ICK flashes himself.
That happens.
Push back. Already though, UV making their way towards long. Kyoshi is gonna get pressured by Ghosty, but he wins out on that duel. Blurred though, he's not cleared here towards long. He finds one. Can he find the second? He does. The spike down, and it's in the right ball. ESPN Kibi not able to land the shot, shaking his head a bit about the mistake, but the heal from Blurred just right in time. The TP from Bunny L is spectacular, and Kyoshi has to deal with 3. Can he even find the one? It looks like his position has been known. The flash from Dizzy to push him back further. It does connect, but he's getting pincered from both sides. Blurred with another spectacular performance closes out this game for USPF. The winning moment, you can see it in the faces of USPF. Smiles and giggles all around.
Look at those smiles.
You can see
he's
it.
dancing.
Even a little bit of dance of happiness there.
Look at that smile on their faces.
Yeah, they know they did a good job.
Oh, yes,
they came here today to play, and that's exactly what they did. And you can't forget about another spectacular performance from Blurred himself.
Oh, yes.
Absolutely brilliant
MVP.
performance. I would call him the MVP once again. Last week, it was Ghosty.
Yes.
Back-to-back MVP for 2 games. I think there's no one more deserving of it. The second game,
other than Blurred, of course. 404 average combat score. But of course, the series goes to USPF. 2-0. UV comes short against the Panthers.
And with how they achieve that victory, it's all about communication. It's all about strategy. It's all about teamwork here. If your teammate here is in need, they immediately seek to their aid. I think that is
Absolutely.
very important to achieve that victory, and that is something UV was kind of not able to do, since they were a bit of a struggle
Absolutely.
there with defense
Same.
and the attacking side. But you could from their next
Absolutely.
game, yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. They took the loss today, but they can still come back in the coming weeks. That was, of course, their first game. And again, once again, we have to credit Blurred with that spectacular performance on that Sky. Not to mention, he had a few multiple kill rounds where it was just set up for it. The air, what USPF was trying to do, and they were able to cook as well as Blurred. Blurred, I think today has been the head chef, of course,
Oh yes.
of USPF. They were cooking a lot during today's matchup. They were able to come out on top, but despite us talking so much about Blurred, we have to give credit as well, of course, to the rest of USPF. Ghosty making the first point of contact,
Yes,
leading the
definitely.
charge toward in those sites. Niel with spectacular lurking performance, fighting impact on the other side of the map, and giving info and making sure that USPF, they didn't have to worry about their backs, knowing that
Oh yeah.
Niel was on the other side of the map, making sure that UV weren't trying to push anywhere else.
Yes.
But you could tell how the growth of USPF, the growth of the team, you could see it in their performance right now. Last year, it was, to be honest, it was more of a Blurred show. Now, they're a very well-rounded team. You can't just say it was all Blurred. He did perform spectacularly well, but of course, you can see it in the rest of his team. Bunny L with 11 assists.
That is
Kibi
crazy.
with 8 assists. Not to mention that most of those assists were from kills of Blurred. You can see it right there. The calmness in his aim, the when he's pushing, when he's trying to fight back. You can see it right there. He's even setting up Ghosty for greatness even on that Sky. Even though he's no longer the duelist, he knows that despite, not necessarily getting kills is the very impact. Not, you can't just you can also win games not solely on kills. You can do it by flashes
yeah.
as well, by
Yeah,
playing as a
assists.
team, setting up your teammates. Very selfless of a player, giving up that duelist role to Ghosty, stepping up on another role and doing phenomenal on it, as we can see from those past 2 games. He's been able to step up when USPF
Oh
needs him.
yeah, definitely. I definitely agree with that one. Like when their teammates need them, they immediately come to their aid, because it's not USPF Panther, it's Panthers.
Exactly.
Yes, and their strategy here is pretty intense, and with the future opponents of USPF, they could read their strategy, and of course USPF is incredibly unpredictable.
Absolutely.
They change their strategy from time to time, but of course the
Absolutely.
aggression still stays there, and I think that is something the future opponents of USPF should take note. Like, okay, they're aggressive. What can we do about that?
Absolutely. They're gonna have to consider what sort of strategy they're going to have to
Yeah.
deal with in order for them to stop USPF. There's a lot of great teams here in CESAFI Esports League. Not to mention that right now, the recent arrival, of course, of USC, there's also another team that we have to consider. A lot of great teams here, but for this matchup, of course, USPF showing that they mean business. Sending a message to a lot of the other teams here in CEL that they are here to contend as well, not just to compete,
Of course,
not
of
just to
course.
participate. Sorry.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. They are really out there for blood, and I think that's something UV or some future opponents should really take notes. How can they prevent from pushing inside? Of course, with that you need to increase your defense here. using their agents' abilities and their utilities. That is incredibly important. And of course, map awareness is incredibly important when you be in a competitive match. You need to know the map. You need to study the map. You need to study each agent's abilities here.
Absolutely.
Yes. And and with that, you could achieve to greatness. You could achieve to success. You could achieve to
Absolutely.
victory.
You,
And
you
you
could
know,
become legends.
yeah,
Absolutely.
exactly. Wow,
That's what we
forge
do here.
legends. Oh my goodness.
Absolutely. That's what we do here in the
Yep,
CESAFI Esports
definitely,
League. We
definitely.
forge legends. And we got to see, greatness a few minutes ago from the performance of USPF. And of course, now we have up to you. We're going to be passing it on to our host for a post-game interview.
All right, so now the game has ended between the USPF Panthers and the UV Green Lancers. Now here with me is Blur, the best player of the game with 20 kills, 4 deaths, 8 assists, and the average combat score of 404. So Blurred, hi, congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, so for my first question, during the first week of this preseason, you won against the CEC Blue Dragons, right? And now you won against UV Green Lancers. In your exclusive interview sa katong gipost ito sa Facebook the other time, you were so confident nga madaog ninyo yung every game. And since you start strong during this preseason, 2 consecutive wins, do you feel any pressure ba as the captain of the team?
Wala raman. Kanang manage na ako sila o kuan. Like a legend na ako sila ba.
All right. So in your next game, you will be against UCLM. What do you think your preparations would be considering their performance last season?
Mag-amora sila tanawon ng niya para ready me.
All right. So anyone you want to give a shout out, Blurred?
And shout out to my family nasa Koloyo na pirmi mo suporta no. And shout out sa inspiration po. Ano pa?
Thank you so much, Blurred. So, again, this is Mary Grace Figueredo, your CHL host for this season. So, all of this will not be possible without our sponsors. We have Pizza Express for all of your digital needs, Virginia Food Incorporated, Basta Hot Dog, Virginia. Also, thanks to the company and to the Korean Lab and Digital Prints. Don't forget also to follow our social media accounts. We have the CESAFI Esports League on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. Again, Blurred, congratulations and good luck on your next games.
Thank you.